Hey, welcome to my channel, Made by BJax. Today I will be showing you how to make this two-toned crop top. Here are all of the materials I used to make this project. To get started, create a slip knot, and for a size small, chain 13. If you are looking to make a different size crop top, then I have the recommended chain links for every size posted here. To begin our first row, insert a single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and then continue single crocheting all the way down, but stop before you reach the last chain. I've approached the last chain, and here I will be inserting 3 single crochet all into that same chain space. This is where we'll begin using our stitch marker. So these are the 3 stitches that I just put into that chain space, and we're going to add the stitch marker into the middle stitch. Continue single crocheting all along the opposite side while also weaving in that tail. After you've completed your first row, stop and make sure that you have the same amount of stitches on both sides of your stitch marker. For the size small, I have 12 stitches on both sides. For our second row, we are going to chain 1, turn our work, and begin inserting a single crochet into the very first stitch. And then continue single crocheting all the way along the side until you reach your stitch marker. Once you've reached your stitch marker, go ahead and remove it and insert 3 single crochet all into that same middle stitch. You'll be repeating this process every time you encounter your stitch marker. Don't forget to replace the stitch marker into the middle stitch again. Then continue single crocheting all along the opposite side until you reach the end. Alright, I have just completed my second row of single crochet. I'm going to do 11 rows total, so that means that I have 9 more left to go. If you are making a different size, then I have the recommended row counts for every size also posted here. And I'm just going to quickly demonstrate my third row and do the rest off camera. Right, I just finished making all 11 rows of single crochet, and I even went ahead and did the other raw cup in the other color. I have not cut any of the yarn yet. Everything's still attached and I'm keeping it that way, but I wanted to make sure that they were both identical before moving on to the next step. So continuing with my first bra cup, I chained 12. From here, I inserted a half double crochet into the third chain from the hook. Continue inserting half double crochets into every chain until you reach your bra cup. Continue half double crocheting all the way along the bottom of your bra cup. That completes our first row for the body portion, and here's what your work should be looking like at this point. To begin our second row, go ahead and chain 1, turn your work over, and then insert a half double crochet into the very first stitch. Then continue half double crocheting into every stitch all the way down until you reach the end. That completes our second row for the body. I'm going to do 8 total, so I have 6 more rows left to go, and this is what it should be looking like whenever you get to that point. And to finish everything off, just chain 1 and cut your yarn and pull it all the way through. For the second bra cup, you could make it just like the first one and chain 12 right here, but I'm picky, so I like to chain 1 and cut my yarn right here. And what I do instead is insert my hook on the opposite corner, and I'll pull my yarn through, tie a knot, and then I'll chain 12. That's just because I like both of the bra cups to have the same fronts facing the same direction. So if you're still following along with me, then insert your hook again, and from here you'll pull your yarn through and chain 12. Now we're going to start repeating what we did for our first side, so insert a half double crochet into the third chain from the hook, and continue leaving a half double crochet into every chain until you reach the body. Once you reach the body, continue leaving a half double crochet into every stitch. Just be aware of the tail and try to weave that in while you're crocheting. Alright, that completes our first row of half double crochets. Don't worry about that little tail just yet, that'll be weaved in whenever we do the border. But from here, go ahead and finish your last 7 rows to finish off the body, and I'll see you when we get to the end. Alright, we are on day 2 of me recording this tutorial, and that is why the lighting looks different, because it is actually daytime. So I'm about to start on the border. I usually like to mix match the colors. That would be really cute for this top, but I'm actually thinking I'm gonna do black for this border. To get started, I like to work with the fronts facing up, and I'm going to start at this corner with the tail, following this path with single crochets. Go ahead and insert your hook into that far corner and pull a loop through. Don't pull your yarn completely through, just pull a loop through and chain 1. Insert your hook again into that same stitch and then create a single crochet. Continue single crocheting all along the side while also weaving in those 2 tails. Once you're finished with the side, go ahead and chain 1 and then insert another single crochet into that same stitch you left off at, and then go ahead and single crochet all along the top portion of the body. I have reached the corner section, so I want to insert a decrease stitch. So all that is inserting your hook, pulling your yarn through, insert your hook into the next stitch, pull your yarn through, and then pull your yarn through again through all 3 of those loops. From here, continue single crocheting all the way up until you reach the tip of your bra cup. Once you reach the tip, insert 1 single crochet, and we're going to make the strap now, so chain 81. After you have chained 81, slip stitch into the second chain from the hook and then continue to slip stitch all the way down your chain until you reach your bra cup again. Once you're done working down your chain, leave 1 more single crochet into that last stitch that you left off at, which should have been the middle stitch at the very tip of your bra cup, and then continue single crocheting all the way back down. After you have single crocheted all along the side, go ahead and turn your work by chaining one and then inserting another single crochet and then single crocheting all along the bottom of the body, and I'll meet you whenever we get to the very end. Next, we need to make some little inserts for our straps to lace up through, so chain 3, and we're going to skip a space and insert a half double crochet into the space after that. Continue leaving half double crochets until you get almost to the middle point. From here, chain 1, skip a space, and then continue half double crocheting until you get to almost the end. From here, I'm going to chain 1 and then insert my very last half double crochet. Here you can see that I've made 3 little spaces for my straps to lace up in between. So next I want to chain 1, turn my work, and insert 1 single crochet into that very first stitch, and then a single crochet into the chain space after that. And then I'm just going to go all the way down with single crochets until I reach the end. Alright, to get started on the second side, I like to start from this corner, working my way down and then across the bottom, following this path. The entire process is going to be just like the first side. We're just starting at a different spot, so go ahead and insert your hook into that very far corner, pull a loop through, create your first single crochet, and then single crochet all along the entire border, creating the strap and everything. Here's what your side should look like once you're done with the entire border, and all the work that we should have left is just weaving in one tail on both of the sides, so go ahead and sew that in. Next, you will need to make a strap, which is a chain of 200. You should have a small tail on one end, and we're going to cut our string here and keep the tail on so that we can lace this up in between the bra cups easier. So from here I was just kind of eyeballing where I wanted the straps to begin, and I think I ended up counting 12 stitches up. Whenever I counted the 12th stitch, I inserted my hook and then pulled the yarn through that way. If I had cut that yarn, it would have been more difficult to pull that strap through, so that's why I keep it on at first while I'm lacing everything up. And then, yeah, so I do the same thing on the opposite side, counting 12 stitches up to make sure that everything's symmetrical. And then I insert my hook, and then I wrap the end of that string around the hook and pull it on through. Before you go any further, make sure your straps are the same lengths and they're not all wonky, so that one strap isn't longer than the other whenever it's all said and done, because it's really hard to fix that later. Here I am trying to figure out where I want the strap to go into next, and I ended up going into the 5th stitch below the last stitch that I inserted the lace through. So from here, I just repeated that pattern, inserting the lace into every 5th stitch all the way down. Once you have finished lacing all the way down to the bottom 2 corners, you can go ahead and tie your knots on the ends and cut the string. For the strap on the back corset, I ended up chaining another 200, but this one was a little bit too long. I probably should have only done like 180 chains, but I started lacing up from the very top 2 corners and then went down. That concludes our tutorial for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. And also, I absolutely love seeing the final products you guys share with me whenever y'all send them to my Instagram or you tag me in any photos. So keep sending those my way. I share them on my story. And also, here's a bunch of pictures of different color combinations I've made this top in. And don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can get notified for my future videos.